Right. So these are the topics which we are going to have today. So first will be introduction to IONIC. We'll tell you something about IONIC, that how it is, and what like you'll get to know about some features of IONIC. Next is the installation of IONIC, which I guess most of you have done, and if you have not done, we'll give you a quick idea like how to do it, and so that we all come to the same page and we can move ahead. Next is getting our hands dirty. So we'll start with a very basic application on IONIC, that will be a count app, and we'll discuss about it later. Next is a bit of future prospects and resource sharing. So we'll be telling and then I will be taking some doubts. Like if you have any doubts, we are going to take it. Also, that in the end, we are also going to give you a bonus. So I hope that you will wait till the end, and you'll get to know what the bonus is. Okay, so what is IONIC? IONIC is an open source front-end SDK for developing hybrid mobile applications using web technologies such as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. It provides mobile optimized web technology based components as well as native APIs using Cordova and IONIC Native. So there were a lot of words, like, and we'll break it and we'll understand each one of these. So first thing was open source. So what do we mean by open source? Open source basically means that its source code is available to everyone. Like this is not owned by a particular company. uh, any person can take this and use it in their application without any issue. And the next thing is that it is SDK. So SDK stands for Software Development Kit. So it is used for making front-end mobile application, front end of the mobile applications, like how it looks and all those things. Next, that like one of you just asked that if it is used for making Android applications or iOS applications. So I don't know, like most of you might have heard that the Android applications are made with the help of Kotlin and Java, while the iOS applications are made with the help of C Sharp. But the hybrid applications like IONIC or React Native, they are made with the help of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Right. So these are somewhat like web applications, and they use some web application frameworks like IONIC in particular uses Angular, React, or Vue. It's up to you what do you want to use. So right. So we use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript for building IONIC applications. Right. So let's move ahead. So these are some of the notable features of IONIC. First is it's a hybrid application, which I just told you what it means. It is built using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. It is having large community. So a question may arise that what is the use of having a large community? So the thing is that if a lot of people are working on IONIC, then there will be some questions which you may ask, but there might have been some people who have already thought about it and would have questioned it before. So like if you Google things for IONIC, it will be very easy to find because a lot of people are working on it, and your issue will get resolved quickly. And it is small in size and large in impact. So that is a thing about IONIC. So let's move on. So like if you are thinking that is IONIC being used somewhere currently, so yes, these are some of the mobile applications where IONIC is currently being used. Okay, so like the next question, have you all installed IONIC yet? So if you have not installed, please let us know so that we can help you out and we can move ahead quickly.
Yep, I think many here did install both, so I guess it would be better if we go through both IONIC networks.
Okay, sure. We'll go with both of these things. Right. So, how many of you do not have Visual Code with you? Okay, so I saw someone writing no, they don't have Visual Code. So, like downloading Visual Code is not difficult. I hope you all have this installation guide with you. So, what I want you to do is go to this particular link. I'll just copy and I'll open it over here and download it according to your operating system. So, if it is Windows or Mac or like anything, just or you are having .deb or .rpm Linux operating systems, then you can go with that, and then you can download up Visual Studio. Like if you have any queries, just feel free to ask us. So like that would do. Also, we have shared this link with you in the chat. So That would be good to go. So let me move to Node.js then. Okay, so I am telling this for the Windows user. What Windows users can do is that they can go to this particular website. So what they need to do is that they in the LTS tab they can select Windows installer or macOS installer, and they can download Node.js. After the Node.js setup is downloaded, as it has been shown in this guide, you will be like directed to this, and you have to go next, select the uh, private privacy policies, and then select the place where you want to download it, and then move ahead, and then like you will get it downloaded. So after you have downloaded it, what you need to do is you just have to give two command node hyphen v. So after giving node hyphen v, you can see that here a version of node which has been downloaded in my particular system is 14.15.0. It might be different for you, but like if it is not showing any error, then we are good to go. So please, I request everyone to just try and see that if node hyphen v and the other command is npm hyphen v is giving you like some results like this or not. If not, then please let us know and we'll help you out. Okay, so till everyone else is installing things, I had a few questions for you. Like it will help to decide the pace in which we have to go further in the workshop. So, like, are you guys familiar with HTML?
Yeah, yes, I'm familiar with HTML.
Okay, so you are familiar with HTML. So we are going to use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So like 33% you already know. So that is great. So is there anyone else like who has some problem with HTML or would like us to tell you about? Because we don't require a lot of HTML. Like we use HTML, but if you have some basic understanding of what tags and all things are, then it will be pretty clear to you what we write in that HTML file. So is there anyone who is having issue with that? Acha, okay, so like different question. What operating systems are you using right now? So is there any Mac OS user or an Ubuntu user? So like tell us that.
I think everyone has installed Visual Studio by now and Node.js, so I think we can move ahead.
Okay, so I hope everyone has installed. If you have not installed or having any kind of queries, you can write it in chat, or you can even talk to us on WhatsApp group. So that will not be an issue. Right. So coming next is Ionic installation. So for Ionic installation, the same thing goes like for this, we are going to go to our terminal. So everyone please open your terminal, and you can use this command to download Ionic for now. So as you can see, it is getting downloaded, and it will, as soon as it gets completed, it will be like installed in your operating system. Right. For me, it is already downloaded, so I'll just stop it. After it is downloaded, you can again go for Ionic and hyphen v to check the version of what has been installed. So
Uh, so terminal is basically command prompt. If you just go to your search bar and type command prompt, so the first app you will see that is the basically terminal. And
Yeah, I'm following. Guys, I have a question.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, I was asking, like, I've always done C++ right now. I'm in third year, and
Right. Okay.
I'm doing only programming, so like data structure and thing. But I've never looked up to this thing in my life. Like, I've never been into web development or app development. So, is this workshop gonna be productive for me?
Yes, it will be productive. Like you will have some basic idea how it works, and since you are saying that you haven't done anything, so it will be a start. Like initially, if you go with something new, you are scared with like what it is going to be. Like this workshop will allow you at least to see like what all are the things in there, what are the files and folders. So like that will be good for you. Plus, right, you'll have some basic idea and you'll be able to move forward. Plus, if you'll like join our team, then definitely you are going to get to work on lots of projects. So that will be something good for your resume, I think. And Yes, like if you'll have some development
Uh, okay,
idea.
so I have one more question. Like, if I attend this workshop for 2 days continuously, then you will be giving some project to do. So will I be
Yes.
able to complete that project on the basis of these 2 days of workshop?
Yes, sure. Like the project which we have decided is mostly with HTML and CSS. Like if it's not that you don't have to Google anything or you'll able to do it like just you'll like see the workshop and you'll be able to do it. It will not be like that, but you'll have to Google it a bit things and you'll be able to do it. It will not be a big issue. Plus, you have any issue or you want some more resources, you can ask us. We'll provide you with that, and also like we expect you to make the project, but like we'll also see the amount of work you put in that project. So like if you'll be working a lot in that, so yeah, we'll see that out as well.
Okay, get it. Thank you.
Welcome. So any more, like anyone has more queries, they can ask. Right. So the next thing is to begin, right? So to begin, the first thing is that like a second, right? So one more second. I'll just clear the screen and I'll begin from the starting. So that will be new. Right. So I'll just open command prompt by going on start. Right. So as soon as I open it, it looks something like this. So currently I am at my root folder. So my root folder is admin. Right. So now I need to start a new project. But before that, what I want is that I want to go to the desktop where I want to make my INEC project. So what I'll do is CD and then the name of the place where I want to go. So currently I want to go to desktop and I'll click enter. So now I'm in desktop. Like this is not compulsory. You can make your INEC application in the admin folder as well. If you are having any queries, you can ask us. But like if you are in the admin folder, you can start with what I'm going to write right now. So yes. So to start a INEC project, what we have to do is INEC start. So this will start a new project. I'll click on INEC start. Right. So the next question it asks is that what framework do we want to use? So like I think there will be some of you who know React or Vue before, but for now we are going to go with Angular. So I'll just click enter. It's asking me the name of the project. So for now the name of the project I'll write something like first, and I'll go. Right. So the next thing it asks me is that what starter template we want. So there are a lot of options: tab, side menu, blank, list, my first page, and Confidence. So the starter template is basically what we are going to have initially in our application. So you definitely use mobiles, so you know that you might know meaning of few of these things. So one is tabs. So like you would have seen in Instagram and all the applications, that there are few options in the below part of the screen which are like you watch reels or direct message and things like that. So those are tabs. Like it looks like a single screen where there are a lot of options, and you can click on that and it gets open. So that is tab. Side menu, in many applications you have seen that at the top left corner there are three lines, and you click on it and then a menu opens, right? So there are you can open your profile and all those things in that. So that is side menu. Then we have a blank application. So the blank application is basically nothing, just a simple plain application with a single screen. So for now, let us go with the blank application. Okay, so it will take a bit of time now. Right. So the next thing it is asking me is that if I want to integrate this new application with Capacitor or not. So I am saying no for now, and we'll talk about Capacitor and the things later. Right. So after this, there is nothing more. It will download and our project will start. So like if you got stuck at any of these steps, you can tell now. I'll just scroll up and show you what the command was, and if you are here with us, then you can just unmute and tell, or you can give the message.
It has opened another tab for me for like create your iconic app. It is showing another tab, not in the command prompt.
Sorry, I'm not getting your issue. Like you said, create Ionic start, right?
Yes, I have written that.
You have written Ionic start, and then what happened?
Then it was showing that use the app creation wizard Y and N. Then I clicked at Y, like I typed Y and enter. And in the Google Chrome, it is showing like create your Ionic app. Should I
Okay.
share my screen?
You can, what you can do is you can write control plus C, control plus C, right? So you will see something like this, like if you want to terminate the job, and you can say yes. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so like you will go back to this admin or desktop wherever you are, and then you can start again. So you can go Ionic start, and then it is going to ask you for Angular or React or whatever. So go with Angular. Like, was this visible to you or it didn't come?
Showing the same thing, like use the app creation wizard. Why?
Ritik, you can use that tool also. That provides you with a GUI, so you can choose anything, and it is easier for you to interact. So, but not every option is available there currently. So, what you can do is close, as Hardik said just now. Type Control plus C. It will terminate that job, and then delete the folder if it's already been created. Any folder if it's been created. Okay, and once you've done that, choose N the next time. So after that you will be able to see this.
Yeah, it was coming after the N.
Yeah, so it just asked you if you wanted to continue with the App Studio or if you wanted to go on ahead with the CLI. So that's why you choose no. N stands for no.
Okay, then what to do after this?
After that, you will be able to see these options like Hardik is seeing here. So choose the framework as Angular and then choose the template as blank. And then it will start creating the folders for you.
And it will also ask for if you want to integrate it with capacitor or not. Then you should go with no. Guys, is anyone having any issues? Or it got installed for everyone?
Hello. This is asking, would you like to share anonymous uses data with Angular team at Google under Google's privacy policy? So what
You
should I
can
do?
say no.
Okay. And for create free Ionic account?
No, no, no.
Okay.
Right. So I can see a lot of people have followed till now. So the next step is to go into the project which we have just created. So for me, the name of the project currently is count. You must have kept some other name like first or something like that. So you can CD and then you can write the name of the application which you have done. So currently I am in my project count. So moving ahead, I assume all of you are in the folder which was created. Like for me, the project was called count. The next thing is to do code space dot. Right. So the cool thing about this is that as soon as you write code space dot and press enter, then this VS Code will get open inside that particular application. Right. So this is the folder, and inside this there are 3 folders and other files. So we'll talk about what are all these files, and you will get a basic idea that how Ionic is working, and then we'll start writing our code. Right. So everybody is with me till now. Okay, great. So for like it, you can, what you can do is that you can go to the terminal and you can write Ionic serve and press enter. So it is going to take some time. Till then, I'm going to explain you the file system of the Ionic. Once again, so you can just enter it and then you can look what you're doing. Right. So As I told you, there are three folders: E2E, Node module, and SRC. So there are a lot of files. We are not going to bother about each and every one out here. We are only going to talk about the one which we are concerned about. So first is E2E. E2E used for testing. So like we are not going to do any testing for now. So we'll leave that folder. Other one is the Node modules folder. So like as we npm and Node, we have a bit basic idea that there are a lot of packages which are present inside this, and we are going to use it in this particular application. So this folder basically have those packages inside it. The next is the SRC folder. So SRC folder is the folder in which we are going to write our all code. So we'll talk about it in more detail a bit later, right? So from all these files, there are a few files which I want to discuss. So the first is gitignore. So what happens is that whenever we put our project in GitHub, there are few files which we do not want to be uploaded in the GitHub. Like this is a full folder. So if we go to GitHub and then we install and then we put our project in the folder GitHub, then we want few files to be excluded. So for that we use .gitignore. So what it does is that we can write that, for example, node modules is a kind of folder which we do not want in our project. So we can write that node module we do not want it in our project. So it will not get updated in GitHub. So that is the use of .gitignore folder. Next is package.json. So there are a lot of node packages which we are using in our project currently, and there are times then we have to download some external node package. So and package.json basically contains all the information about all the packages which we are going to have in our project. And the next is package-log.json file. So that will contain the exact that exact version of those packages. So for example, if I have made this project and I am sharing it with some other member of the club, so they can take that project, they can install packages, and how will that particular person know that what version of that package has to be installed? That would be done by package-log.json, and we do not have to bother about it. So right. So as I said, the next thing which we are going to go is with SRC folder. So in the SRC folder, we are having these folders and these files. So from these, I would talk app folder. Again, we are going to discuss about it later. Then we are having assets folder. If I open it, we are having icons and shape.svg. So this is the place where we put our images and all those extra things like images or any audio file or etc. And we can take it from here when in the application. So like this is the place where we keep all our assets of the project. Next is index.html. So this is the first file which gets executed as soon as we open our project. Right. So moving to the app folder. So in the app folder, as you can see, we are having a home folder and we are having these 6 files. Right. So whenever we are going to create a new page, or like the first page which is created by INEC already, that is the home page, we are going to have these 6 files. Which will be module.ts, component.ts, component.spec.ts, component.scss, component.html, and routing module.ts. Right. So as we said that INEC application uses HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, but it is not exactly what it is. We are having a instead of JavaScript file, we are having TypeScript file. So TypeScript file exactly works like a JavaScript file, but with some additional features. Like we can specify what type of variable it is. Like we can do it in C, C++, or any other language, but not in JavaScript. So that is an external, that is some extra features which TS file provides, and it can do anything which JavaScript file can do. Similarly goes with SCSS file. It is a superscript of CSS file, which means that it can do anything which CSS file can do and something more. Right. So like don't worry about that, like TS or SCSS is something new. It is not. It is just JavaScript and CSS files. Right. So we talked about CSS, HTML, and SCSS. So we can see that there are different kind of TS files over here. So there are four TS files: module.ts, spec.ts, component.ts, and routing module.ts. So we'll talk about them. So first is spec.ts. We don't have to bother about it. It is just used for a testing purpose. So we are not going to test anything like that. So let's leave it for now. Next is the component.ts, module.ts, and routing module.ts. See,
Uh,
so
I think like just delete those unwanted files like spec.ts, so it would be better for understanding.
sorry.
Delete that spec.ts file, so it would be better for understanding. Yep. So delete all those unwanted files. Okay.
Okay, so like we don't want this file, so I'll delete it. That will not be an issue. It is okay, that's fine. So these are just five files: module.ts, component.th, SCSS, TS, and module.ts. Right. So the TypeScript files can be of two types. Either it can be a module or it can be a component. But the file is just TypeScript or right. So how does Angular get to know or Ionic get to know that it is a module or it is a component? So that is done with the help of a simple decorator, that is add component. We don't have to bother about it. For component it is add component, and for module it is add module. So add ng module. So we don't have to bother about it right now. We can keep it as it is, and you will come to know about its use later as we proceed. So and also there is routing module.ts, which is used for routing. Like in the application we are having a lot of pages, right? So you can move from one page to another with the help of routing modules. So this was about these five files of app, and the similar five files will be present over here. Actually six with the spec.ts. You can delete it if you want. And like these are the five files, and we are going to talk about it very soon. Right. So till now, anyone has any issue of any kind, you can tell us. I think the structure of the file was clear for everyone. So I'll proceed ahead. Right. So the structure was done. So the next thing was, I told you that index.html was the first file which gets started. Right. So, but whatever is written in index.html is not the first thing which we see. What happens is basically index.html then calls app component.html, which further calls homepage.html, and homepage.html is the first thing which we see. So if I as you can see, for me it has got it served, and it is showing that you can open the browser at localhost 8100, and you will be able to see what like how the app looks. So that is the beauty of Ionic. For other things, like if you use Flutter, etc., you are going to have something extra running for that. But for Ionic, you can use it in browser. So that is another beauty of Ionic. Right, so you can go to HTTP localhost 8100. It has compiled successfully for you, or it will automatically open for you. Like for me, it has already opened. Right. So, is there anyone who is still waiting for their project to get served? Is there anyone, or we can proceed ahead?
Um, I have a doubt. After code space dot, do you did you enter some another command in command prompt?
Yes, after code space dot. One second, sorry. After code space dot, yes, we did Ionic serve.
Okay.
Yeah, so the purpose of Ionic serve was to serve our application, and we'll be able to see it in our browser. What about others? Is everyone following till combine successful?
Just to clear, the code space dot is basically to open VS Code in the same folder directly from command prompt. You can either go to that folder, right click and open in VS Code, or you can open directly from the command prompt. Okay, that is it. They are the, I guess they are with you, so you can continue.
Okay, so hopefully everyone is with me till now, and
Can you show me that command Ionic serve?
sure. I'll just do here.
Okay. So it will take some time to set up, no?
Yeah, it will take some time. That's why I wrote this command before telling the folder structure. So
Okay.
yeah, it will take time, but don't worry. Like you'll catch up.
Okay.
Right. So now for me it has opened. So as I've told you that as soon as this project starts, what we are going to see is what is written in the HTML home.html file. So as you can see that the name of the project had to be blank. So you can see blank written over here, and then we'll see over here that ready to create an application. It will show like this: start with Ionic, and then it is showing this UI component with a anchor tag. Right. So this is about homepage.html. So what we can see over here is the homepage.html file. But as you all know that like this is not how a mobile looks, right? Our mobile will be a smaller screen, its width will be less, and all those things. So what we have to do is just right click over here and go on inspect. So as I assume that everyone is using Windows over here, you can also go with Control plus Shift plus I. So it is going to show you the screen somewhat like this. Okay, so for initially your screen might look something like this, but what you can do is you can go to responsive and you can select any kind of mobile which you want, and it is going to take the pixels and all those things according to that. So I take Pixel 2 XL, and you can take iPhone or whatever you want.
Can you please repeat the steps
For what?
from after that opening that?
Right. So this was our application, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
what we did was we right clicked, we went to inspect, and initially when you went to inspect you might see something like this, like it's a response, it is at the top, it is showing responsive,
Yeah.
but we don't want it to be responsive. So I'll you can select anything from here. I go with Pixel 2 XL, you can go with iPhone or any other thing. So basically it tells the width, it changes the width and the height and all those things of the phone. Like for Pixel it's like this, for iPhone it is a bit wide, and height is a bit less. So this is how it's going to look when you actually use this application in mobile. Okay, so Anuj, you can give the project name anything. For now you can give it count. I think that will be better. You can give the name count or first or something like that. Okay, so right. So I'll just show you making some changes over here. So let's not call it blank since we're making a count app. I'm going to name it count. Okay, so I've changed
Um,
the title and I've
Rajiv,
given huh.
can you increase the font size like Control plus and zoom in
Sure.
a little? Uh, yeah, I
Right.
think it's comfortably visible for everyone, right? So yes, good.
So what I've done for now is that I've changed the title to count over here, and let me also change the title as count over here. So the place where we were seeing I blank over here, since the template which we used was blank, you can see count over here. Okay, so one more thing, for if you make any changes in VS Code, you are going to see a white dot at the top. So that white dot indicates that a change has been made, and it has not been saved till yet. So after this change has been made, what you can do is save it. So for saving it, a shortcut key is Control plus S. So as soon as I press Control plus S, that thing, so white circle goes away. Right. So every time we make a change, you have to press Control plus S, or if you are at auto saving, then that is great. So right. So I've changed the name over here, and we can also do some things over here. I'll just remove a bit of HTML from here. It is saying container. I'll just write hello, my first sign app. Everybody knows what a div is, right? It's just an HTML tag which is used to display some text. Hello, my first Tiny Cap. I have saved it. As you can see that it is writing hello, my first Tiny Cap. Great. So, right. So we are going to make a count app. So let me just tell you what we are basically going to do. We are just going to create a simple button, and what that button is going to do is that it is going to, as soon as we click it, it is going to change the a number. Like initially it will be zero, and then it will be it's going to increase with one, two, three, and so on. So it is just basically it counts the number of times that button has been pressed. That's it. Okay, so right, I'll just begin in a second. Okay, so the first thing which we want is a kind of instruction for the person that what he or she has to do. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a h1 tag. So in HTML, we are having a lot of tags. So the one is heading tag. So there are 6 heading tags: h1, h2, h3, h4, h5, and h6. Where h1 being the biggest and the boldest, and h6 being the like smallest and least bold. So h1, and I am going to give click on the button below. Button below, as I want them to click the button which is present below. Right. So after putting this, I am going to make a button. Okay, like first we just see what change it has made. So it is showing that click on the button below. Right. Also, we don't need this header, so I'll just remove it so that it doesn't confuse you. This header. And I'll also remove this div. That is confusing. Right. So I click on the button below, and we have seen that it shows the changes. And also, if I go with this right now, so it is showing click on the button below, right? So the next thing which we want to do. Okay, great. So we have written this click on the button below, and now there has to be a button below, right? So I'll just make a button. So rather than making a simple HTML button, what I'm going to do is make use of Ionic button. So I'll just show you how a simple button looks, so that it will be clear that why I'm going with this button. So what I want is that the button should say click me, because we want user to click it. So I'll just save it, and so as you can see that this is the button. It might not be clear to many of you because it's very small and it's just a simple gray color background and nothing much in this. So like we don't want this to look like this. So what we are going to do is we are going to use iron button. So what iron button is going to do is it is going to give it some basic CSS which is going to make it look better. So I have changed this button to iron button. I've saved it, and as you can see that this is how this button looks. Very different. It looks great. Blue background, white color, and it is having some shading in the right and bottom side, as you can see. And as I click on it, it shows some effect, right? You might be able to notice that. So right, so this is the thing. And also there has to be something which shows like how the things are, like there has to be something like which shows like the count has increased. So there has to be a digit which is written. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a div, and in the div I'll write 0. So as you can see that 0 is written over here, so it is very small. So I'll just use an attribute called style. This is just CSS only, but I am using it over here so that we'll come to the CSS part later. So it will be better like if we do it here only. One second, someone is having some issue. Okay, so you accidentally closed it. No issue. You can go to the command prompt, press Ctrl plus C, and as you press Ctrl plus C, you can again go for Ionic serve. Since you have served it once, it will be faster to build. Right?
Okay, okay, got it.
Great. So style, and what I want in this style is I want to increase its font size because it was very small and I was not able to see it properly. So I'll go with font hyphen size, which I'll put colon and 20 pixel. I think 20 pixel will be good. And I'll just go to my CSS and I'll see, okay, so its size has increased a bit, and that should be great. Like it must be visible to everyone, hopefully. Right. So, okay, one more thing. In the console, it is possible that you are at the elements tab. So I want all of you to move to the console tab. Just from here, you can go to the console tab. Okay. So what is console? I'll tell you in a minute. So as soon as we move to this console tab, this is a white screen which we can see, and it is not showing anything. And one more thing, like we have made this button and we click it, but there is no change we can see. So like, how useful is this button then? There's no use till now. What I'm going to do next is that I'm going to add a function to this button. So like, I'll say this button to be click. This is just an attribute, just a small syntax. You don't have to worry about it. And I'll give name of the function, which it is going to call as soon as it clicks this button. Right. So everyone followed that? I hope yes. Can please. Okay, great. So what is happening is that we want to call this function. So the next thing is we have to write this function. So what we're going to do is we are going to go to home.page.ts TypeScript file. Right. So this is home.page.ts TypeScript file, and like everything which is written over here is important. We are not going to go deep into what these things do, but like for now, say that we are going to write our function over here, just below the constructor. I'll say count as was the name of my function. Open bracket, close bracket, and like this. This is just the syntax of the function, and it will not be an issue to follow. Right. So this is where I'm going to write what this particular function is going to do. For now, I'm saying console.log, and I'll write click. Right. So what is its use is that this function is going to call console.log. So what console.log does is that whatever it is written in this bracket, it displays this in over here. Right. So it is going to display that thing over here. So as soon as like a person clicks this function, click that button, this function will be called, and it is further going to show clicked in the console. So what I'm going to do is I'm over here, I'll just press click me, and you can see that clicked is written over here. If I'll again click me, there's a small 2 which says that this button has been clicked twice and 3 times and 4 times and so on. Right. Also, like we can see that it is still 0. We don't want that. I have clicked this button 4 times and it should show that it has been clicked 4 times. So for that, what we are going to do is that we are going to make a variable over here. Let me call it C, and I am going to say that this variable's initial value is 0, right? And I'll remove the 0 from here, and I'm going to write the name of this variable with 2 curly braces. This is the syntax, and we have to follow it. So, like, you're worrying why this is a two times curly braces, so like, don't worry about it. Okay. So like if we are going to keep it 0 only, then we will not be able to see the change. So I'm keeping it 10 for now. I'm saving the file, going over here, and you can see that it is showing 10. So whatever value I give to C, it will be shown in the screen. Right. So for now, let's keep it 0 only, and let's go over here. So I'm clicking click me. It is showing it has been clicked, but actually the value of 0 is not getting changed. So what we want is, as soon as I do click me, then 0 should change. So that function which you just created, count, it should do that thing. Right. So I'll just remove console.log, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell them that the value of this C has to be changed whenever it is clicked. So what I'm going to do is this.c. So if you are familiar with the concept of object-oriented programming, you might know that why we are using the keyword this over here. But if you don't, uh, let's not bother about it. Just remember that if we create a variable over here, then we'll have to use the keyword this with it. So this.c is equal to this.c plus 1. So what it does is that initially c's value was 0. So I'll just, it was like 0 and then plus and then 1. Sorry, 1. So 0 plus 1, and this dot c value was, so 0 plus 1 is 1. So its value will be 1. So the next time the function will be called, then this dot c's value will be 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So the 2 value will be stored. Right? So this function is going to do. And as you already know that as the value of c changes, it will also be shown on our front end because we have displayed it over here. So I've saved it. So I'll click me, and you can see that 0 has changed to 1. Again click me, 2.
Excuse me, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, sure.
But since I have changed the home.page.ts file, I am getting an error in the browser. Angular is running in development mode, and it is not showing the application.
Okay, so
That
you
is not an
might have
error,
made some
actually.
error.
So Angular is actually running in development mode in your browser. So since you are running serve, it hasn't built that application.
Okay. But nothing is visible. After that, it is written call enable prod mod to enable production mode.
And that is visible to everyone, so it's not an error. See if you've saved the file or stop serve and then start again.
I think it would be better if you can send a screenshot of your error in the WhatsApp group so we can see exactly what is the issue and help you out better.
Should I send to the WhatsApp group?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so like if we have paused for a minute, so like if anyone else is having any kind of issue, please feel free to ask.
Just a second, Hardik. So as you can see, there is some code already written in home.which.page, right? So don't delete any of this code accidentally or by any chance. This import and component, everything is pre-written by Ionic for a reason. We'll get that to later, but don't delete any of that. Just write your count function, your variables, add your code, but don't delete any existing code in any of these. Yeah. So I think everyone was able to follow till this, right? So we didn't do much today. Basically, we're just introducing to the Ionic and the concept of app development using Ionic framework. Just simply you will click on the button and it will increase the count. Same, I think you can try for decreasing count. Like you just added +1 every time you click, create another button and just add -1, so that will decrease. So you can try that today after this session on your own. And as someone asked for the third year, right? So this app development, and I think doing competitive coding is good and for your betterment. But for the placement wise, if you see, if you have projects along with your competitive coding, then it will boost your resume and your higher chances of getting a better package. Everyone is doing competitive coding, but not everyone is doing projects. So that would be beneficial for you. And I think today's workshop was just introductory, like I said. So that is done. So if everyone is understood everything and still reached till this point, you can just comment in the chat, and then I think we can move ahead.
Excuse me, I have a doubt.
Yep.
But later, if I want to run this application again, what should I do in command prompt? What is the command?
Okay, so it's just the same step. Open your project folder in command prompt, like you
Okay.
did, and just run Ionic serve. So Ionic serve is the same command to run your application as long as you are running in the browser, debugging, building, and seeing what actually you are doing in real time. And that is it. Ionic
Okay.
serve is the same command. And another, there are a lot more commands for different things you can look up on the ionicframework.com. It's official website. So that will help you. You can try all those things on your own on that outlet.
Okay. Thank you.
Now Raghav will continue and we'll move forward with a bit about uh, HTML components which we use in Ionic and a bit about SPSS. So yeah.
Hello everyone. So now I am going to give you an intro about various Ionic components. So can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes. So first, this is I am sending the link of the Ionic UI components in the chat box. So when you go to this site, you can see you can see a similar UI. So on the left hand side, you have a list of various Ionic UI components. So like for example, I'm going to Ion button. So here you will get an intro about the Ionic button. Right hand side you will see a sample of what types of buttons you can create with the predetermined Ionic UI framework. Then uh, you will be able to see the implementation of all the all the various types of buttons over there. In a similar fashion, for all the other UI components, say there will be a similar documentation. So right now, I will only be showing you one UI component, which is the cards. So uh, first you can go to the click on terminal and create a new terminal. So I have already created a new terminal, so you need not. So I will not create a new terminal on my side. In the terminal, you can see that it your application the terminal opens directly on your application folder. So you won't have to give the cd commands to navigate to your application folder. Now I am giving Ionic Serve to run the application. While the application is running, is getting run, the, this is the code that Hardik had given. So currently we can just comment out, select the whole the, the, all the tags H1, Ionic button and div, and click Control forward slash. You can see the entire line has been commented out. So the use of commenting is that you can you, you keep parts of code which you think that it will be essential at a later time, or also you can give comments. So as you can see, I've created a comment over here, and I'm giving like cards implementation. So here you can give any type of text in the comment tag. With the so on when you give te- the the other use of commenting out is that you can give comments about various parts of the app of the of the code that you are writing, so that you can navigate it through the code very easily and know which part has which kind of to code. So now I am implementing the Ionic card. So the HTML tag for implementing Ionic card is ion card. As you can see, when I complete the greater than sign, the next part of the end of the yes. So the Ionic application has run. Now you give Control Shift I to, or you can also go for the right click and inspect element as Hardik told you, and bring the app to the mobile view. I have made my application in as an autosave. So to autosave your application, you can go to File and click on autosave here. It is already checked out for me, so I won't be checked. So when it is checked out over here, you will be able to. You need not always click Control S to save your code. So as you can see, the uh, closing tag of Ion card has automatically appeared after I put the greater than sign over here. So that is one of the uses of VS Code. Now I click enter. Now Ion card has various sub components like Ion card header, which gives the header of the heading of the particular card. Now within Ion card header, you can specify the Ion card title. So and suppose I give the title as Raghav. When you go to the application, you can see the Ion card appears over here with my name Raghav in a greater font, which as you can see over here. Now next, we can give a subtitle to our title as well by the tag Ion card subtitle. So here we can specify, like I am specifying my age as 21. So here you can see that a subtitle has appeared over here with my age as 21. Now next, we can give the content to the Ionic card by giving the tag as Ion card content. So here let me give the content of the card as I am a third year student at SRM IST. So now you will be able to see that the content of the card has appeared over here. Now next we can also wait a second. Yes. Here you can see the content of the card has appeared over here with the text that I had given. Now to distinguish the card from the background, you can either specify change the color of the background, or you can give the change the border color of the card, or even you can change the background of the card as well. So first, to change the background of the to change the entire background of the app. So for that, you need to go to Ion content and specify a class. The use of class is that you can take the name of the class and specify it in the SCSS page. So which helps you to give the styling to your app. So here I am giving the class as background. You can give any name which is your wish. Now we go to the homepage.scss. Now in the SCSS, to call the class, we give us full stop. So full stop, then the name of the class. Now here we have specified the name of the class. For the styling of the to specify the styling, we specify all the styling in a curly braces. So within the curly braces, we can give all the styling that we want. To change the background color, we specify double minus sign and background, then a colon and a semicolon. Now before the semicolon, we can give the color of the background that you want. Now there are various types in which you can specify the color. I will be using the RGB format to, in which you can for as you can specify 0, comma 0, comma 0. After which you can see the black color has appeared over here, which means so we have taken 0, comma 0, comma 0 specifies a black color. Now you can hover over here and select any color you want. For example, if you want yellow, you can swap down over here and choose any shade of yellow that you want. For example, now I am using this yellow color. Now you can see the background of the app has been changed to yellow. Now the just a second. I'll tell you. Sorry, sorry. Yes, so as we saw that the background of the app has been changed, now next we see how to change the border of the card. To change the border of the card, we go to the tag ion card and specify the class as border. And then we, in the same way as background, we import to the border class by full stop border, curly braces open first, and to change the border, we give the object border, colon, space, semicolon. Now in border, we need to specify three types of things. The first one is the thickness of the border. Now there are various units for specifying the thickness. We will be using pixels px, and for example, I am giving the border thickness as 3 px. Okay. Now next is whether we want the border to be solid or not. So I am specifying the border to be solid, and next we need to give the color of the border. Now again we can give RGB 0, 0, 0, which brings us to black color, and next we can select whichever color you want. Here I am selecting a blue shade, this one, and you will be able to see that the border has been changed to the blue color. Now if you want to change the background color of the card, to change the background color of the card, we can either create a new class called as card background, or we can even change the background of the card by specifying the background in the border class. So I will show you both ways. First, we will see how to specify the background in the border class. So in the same curly braces, you can specify background and give the color. For example, I'm doing RGB, 0, and then I'm taking a red color, for example. As you can see, the background has changed to red. Now, as you can see, I specified another class called card background. If we want to specify the card background as now, if if we declare this card background, and we can implement the same code within the class card background as well. It won't make much difference. So I will delete the code in the border class, and you can see that the background is still there. Okay, so now I will be showing you how to navigate between pages. So for example, to navigate between new pages, you can create a new terminal again. So you can see there are two terminals now over here. On the right hand side, you can see there are two terminals. One is bash and one is say, Ionic, in which we have run the Ionic serve command. When you go to bash, so, so the the use of this is that you can generate new components using with the uh, you can use the command prompt as well as without hampering the Unix, without hampering the running of the application in the background. So to show navigation, first I will create a new page called new page using the Ionic generate. Okay, just a second. As I'm using Node version manager, which is used for the, the which is used for having multiple node versions in a single the, the PC. See, I have to specify the node version in which I have my Ionic installed. So since mine is 15.14.0, I will navigate to that first, and then I will give my Ionic generate command. You can see we can generate various types of components. We will only be concerned about page right now. So I will press enter. Now the name of the page. Let me say new page. Now the new page is being generated. Till then, let me create a button so that we can. Yes, the new page has been generated. So you can see over here that an entire page has been created with all the components as the home page. Now to navigate to the new page, first we will need to create an instance. So, upon which we need to call a function, after which we navigate to the new page. Now, suppose I am can create a click function on to specify a new function name. And for example, I am specifying a function name as new. Now, the same function we have to declare in our home.ts file. Now, you can comment out this code which was previously there by control forward slash, and here also control forward slash. Now next we declare the same function that we declared in the click event. Inside the curly braces we can provide the code to navigate to the new page. Now for navigating to the new page, first of all we need to import an entity called nav controller. As you can see, after entering nav C, the nav controller has come over here. So you can click on that and the rest of the code will be completed on its own. So says nav controller is used to navigate between multiple pages, and since it resides in the @Ionic Angular folder, we need to call the folder @Ionic Angular as a from argument. After importing the nav controller, we need to specify its object in the constructor. So here I'm giving the object as public. So what does this public mean? This public means that you will be able to access the object throughout the whole loop to have the whole Java to have the whole TypeScript file. So I give public, and now we can name the nav control object in any way we want. For example, I'm giving it nav. You can specify anything like even an X or a M or anything you can name. I'm giving it as nav. Then a colon, and the same name that we have specified over here. I'm just copy pasting over here. Next, we need to specify, we need to call this function to navigate to the new page. So 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 for everything that, for every object or variable that we declare outside this move function, we need to call this dot to access the nav, to access the object. So this dot nav. You can see that nav automatically comes over here showing that we are uh, going about in the right direction. So this dot nav. Now nav has various kind of functions to navigate to a new page. So here you, you, we have navigate to, navigate forward, navigate back, forward. So inside navigate forward in a single post, we have to specify the route in which the new page exists. So to find the route in which the new page exists, you need to go to app.approuting.module.ts. In that, you can see over here that the path is specified. The path for the new page is new page. So we again go to homepage.ts and specify the path as new page. Okay. So now here you will, when we go to the Ionic application, when we click on that, you can see that we have navigated to the new page. Does anyone have any doubts till now? And everyone has followed till where I have completed. So for the navigation, first we need to declare an instance called click. So click basically shows that when we click on the card, since we have declared click in the Ionic card, whenever we click on the card, this click instance get invoked. Now inside the click we have specified the move function. So and the move function, what the move function says is that whenever we click, it redirects us to the move function in the .ts file. Now in the move function, we need to navigate to the new page that we created. Now for creating a new page, I have shown you over here that we need to use the Ionic generate command, which will ask us to first select which type of component we want, in which we select page. Now next we need to give the name of the page, which we give as new page, and it will automatically generate a new page. Now to navigate to the new page, we will need the nav controller package from Ionic Angular. So the path is Ionic Angular, and nav controller is the package name. So we need to use the package name inside the class. We need to first declare the package as an object in the constructor. So in the first bracket of constructor, we declared public. Since it is public, we can use it anywhere in the .ts file, and then we give the name of the object that we want as nav, and then we specify the package name, which is nav controller. Now to navigate to the new page, since nav is located outside the move function, so we will have to first specify this dot so that we can access the nav. So this dot nav, and then we specify the the function in nav called navigate forward, which helps us in helps us to navigate to any page that we want. Now this is the route of the new page. The, to access to get to know what is the route of the new page, we go to app routing.module.ts. When we enter app routing.module.ts, under const routes, you will see a path. So the path for the new page is new page, as we can see. So specify we specify this path in the home.page.ts navigate forward as /new page. So in after doing all this, we can see in the Ionic application that on clicking on the card, we are navigated to the new page. Let us end our today's session, and we thank you if you have enjoyed our session today. Hope you have enjoyed our session today, and you can ask any doubt that you have in our WhatsApp